Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I'm going to skip right to it today because I am on borrowed time and I want to get this video recorded. So if you want to connect with me in any way, shape, or form, all the information's in the Dropbox below. What I want to talk about today is how we're maneuvering our 3D reality. I get asked all the time, what does it look like? What does life look like? How do I carry myself in the 3D? This is something I've been asked a million times. First of all, I stand by what I say. You really can't do anything to mess up a manifestation. You can't. I do believe that the more often you are identifying as the version of yourself who has your manifestation, the quicker things go. I believe you have the influence over time when it comes to that, as in who you're identifying as. But this is one of those touchy subjects. And everything I'm talking about here today is really based off of intention. I know that there are some of us out there who are living our lives manifesting, we'll say manifesting a specific person. Maybe you're manifesting money. And we hear in manifestation, the idea is to start identifying in here, in your imagination, as that new self. So if you're manifesting $1 million, then you're going to identify as being the multimillionaire. If you're manifesting a specific person, and maybe it's a person you've already had some kind of an entanglement with, you are identifying in your imagination as being that version of yourself who's in that relationship. But I think that, and this is opinion, we have a gray area of when we are, this is why intention is what matters. Lying, fibbing in the 3D. Now, again, remember what I just said. It's the intention. What's the intention that I think is the not so great part? If someone was to ask you a question like, how's everything going? How's your love life going? And you know currently you're not in a relationship with your specific person, but you also know you're manifesting it and you are identifying as your new self. And you innocently say, oh, everything's great. Living my best life. Never been happier in my love category. Obviously, you wouldn't use that wording, but you know what I'm trying to say. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if while you're standing there, you're like, oh my God, yeah, I am. Everything's great. Everything is great because I know who I am. I am new self. Right? And then there's that weird fine line of, oh yeah, everything's great. He and I are, we're doing this together. We're doing that together. Everything's fine. But inside, in here, you weren't identifying as new self. You know it. You just had a panic moment. Like, oh my God, please don't let them ask me any more questions. Please don't let them ask me any more questions. Oh my God, I don't want them to know that I'm not with SP. In both cases, both examples, do you hear the difference in the intention? Let me give you another example with money. You know you're manifesting $1 million. All right, we got person A, we got person B. Person A is with friends, okay? And friends want to go into the luxury store Louis Vuitton and purchase a handbag. And person A knows they're manifesting $1 million. They go into the store, they're looking around. The friend says, well, which bag are you going to buy? And you respond with, oh God, I don't know. So many choices. I think I'm going to wait until I can make up my final decision. And here I am a multimillionaire. I am a multimillionaire and I can own any one of these damn bags. Anyone. I can have whatever bag I want because I am a multimillionaire. Boom. And then we got person B. Same scenario. They're with friends. They're going into Louis Vuitton. And they instead say, oh, no, I'm not going to buy anyone. I already have that one. And I have that one. I have that one too. Yeah, I've got them all. I got them all. Yeah. No, you buy what you want. I already own all of these. Yeah. And inside, they're dying inside. Oh my God, please don't let them ask me to see it. Oh God, please don't let them ask me to see the goddamn bags. Oh God. Oh God. And then we got person C. We're going to throw in an extra person here. Going to Louis Vuitton. They got maybe $2,000 left on their pretty almost fully maxed out credit cards. And they say fuck it and they buy a $2,000 bag. So they're fully maxed out on their credit cards. And inside they're dying. What am I doing? Here I am going into debt. Well, that's okay. I'm manifesting $1 million. Everything's going to be taken care of. Everything's going to be all right. I'm manifesting $1 million. I'm going to be a multi-million. Oh God, I am totally maxed out on this card. Totally maxed out. What am I going to do? How am I going to pay for all of this? How am I in debt again? Well, I was living as new self. I was buying everything comfortably because that's what new self would do. But my God, I can't pay any of my bills. I can't pay any bills. All the creditors are calling me. How am I going to pay for any of this? When is that money going to manifest? How much longer do I got to do this? How much longer? Do you hear the difference in each person's mind? I hope these were good examples. Do you hear the difference in their minds? See, I see nothing wrong when we are innocently, oh yeah, no, I'm just not, everything's great. Everything is great. I know I'm getting what I want. I know I am new self. I am the version of self who is having whatever she wants, and everything is leading me to that end. When you're in that mindset, you're identifying as new self. But when you're out here losing your shit and fibbing, but you're fibbing not to keep you as identifying new self, but you're fibbing because you're afraid to own up to whatever current 3D is showing you, even though, listen, we don't owe anybody explanations of what we're doing in life or how our personal life is going or what our bank accounts are saying. We don't owe anybody anything. We don't have to answer anybody's shit, right? We don't owe anybody anything. That's not my message. My message is when you're going about life and lying about your current scenario, and on top of the lies, now you're panicking, trying to keep up with the lies. And you know what? It would almost be one way if you were lying and then able to keep up with your damn lives, living in your imagination. Okay, kudos to you. But when you're lying and you have gotten everybody believing you're in a relationship, but that you are more focused on worrying about being found out, that's the fucking difference. When you were spending more time worrying about people finding out your truth of what your current reality really is, you're nowhere near your new self. You're not identifying as new self. You are anchored to the reality where you're telling everyone that you've got what you want, but inside you're dying. You're trying to keep up with your own lies. You're living miserably. You're dreading being around people because you're afraid they're going to ask you questions. See, I don't care what you tell people in your 3D. That's got nothing to do with me. I'm not here to judge your white lies. I don't give a shit. What I give a shit and what I know is so important, and you are missing the mark if you're not hearing it. When you are lying to people in your 3D and at the same time dreading that the people in your 3D, you're dreading them finding out the truth of your real reality. Well, what's the truth that you're afraid of being found out for? The truth that you don't have what you want. So you are still identifying as the self that doesn't have the manifestation. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? This video is to not critique you for telling people, oh yeah, me and SP are fine. Everything's fine when everything's not fine. But you're still identifying as new self. I don't care if you tell everybody things are fine. Do what you want. It's your reality. I do care if you're questioning where your damn manifestation is, but you're so busy lying about it in your 3D, lying from the place of your current 3D, you do not see or have your manifestation. You're lying to cover up what you still believe is your real reality, which the real reality you believe in is you don't have it. So then you're spending the dominant amount of your time as not having the desire. So you're being the self that doesn't have it. You are spending more time as self that doesn't have it. And again, and before anybody starts commenting, this is not about judging people and their morality police. That's not what this video is for. Nor is that an invitation for the morality police to start fucking beating people up in the comments that they're fibbing and telling people everything's fine when things don't feel fine. That's not your business. The business of this video is what? Who are you being? It's not what you're telling people. I don't care about that. I care if you're telling them, and in the same breath, the same thought, you're afraid that they might find out that you actually don't have the money, or they might find out that you don't have SP. Who are you being? You're lying to protect yourself. For what? You're still not identifying as new self. You're still worrying about your manifestation. Now you're climbing the ladder of keeping up with your lies on top of it. And they're lies that you keep anchoring yourself to because you're still identifying as the version of self that doesn't have the desire. So you're still anchored to the reality where you don't have it anyway. Don't you get sick of that? That would be really hard. That would be annoying for me. I wouldn't be able to do that. I would want my manifestation more than I would give a fuck what anybody else in the reality thought about me and who I'm with or how much money I have. I'd care more about identifying as the version of self who's living a happy, joyous, fulfilled life, getting whatever she wants. Doesn't that sound a little more pleasurable than giving a shit what other people's opinions are about your love life, about your money life, about whatever it is you're manifesting life, to where you're lying about it and then worrying about lying and who you've told what to and how to keep them from finding out the truth. So now you're panic manifesting, but you're really not panic manifesting. You're just panicking that the manifestation isn't here yet. So you keep identifying as the version of self that doesn't have the manifestation. Do you see the cycle? Do you see why it probably couldn't be here yet? Do you see why there's a possibility why it might not be here? I'm just saying. And I'm saying it with a twinge of sarcasm, but I do mean it from love. This isn't a journey of making other people happy in your 3D. This is a journey of you. And the entire premise of manifestation is to shift into the awareness or get into the state of consciousness or be the version of self that actually has the manifestation. And you're spending more time finagling your fucking 3D and worrying about everybody else's opinions and worrying about everybody else. When do you focus on self? When are you putting the focus on you? And you know, this resonates with some of y'all. Now, come on. Put the focus on you. Again, I feel like I got to keep saying it because I know some of you are going to be like, what the fuck? I thought the whole point is to identify as new self, so I'm identifying as new self. If you're identifying as new self, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people. I think initially out of innocence, we're trying to identify as a new self, but got caught up and are now more focused on fixing everything in the caught-ups, trying to catch up and fix the entanglements they have created in the 3D. Now you're focused on, oh my God, I got to get the money here before this shows up or before that shows up or before that person finds out. You're not identified as a new self. That's not you being new self. That's you cleaning up the mess of old self. So you're still being old self. You're still focused on your middle. And the focusing in the middle is how you got yourself into these entanglements. You see what I'm saying? Put the focus on you. Stop worrying about everybody else's opinions. Focus on you. And if that's not naturally who you are as a person, that can be a part of new self. New self can be a strong-minded, confident person. See what I'm saying? This is a journey of unconditional love, not people-pleasing or people impressing. So who are you really being? Be authentic. Who are you really being? Because at some point, it's going to catch up with you anyway, until you start focusing on being the actual new self. Okay? So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow. What is with the fuzzies? Oh, God. You know what? It's a brand new sweater. I hit it to... Whatever. If you're seeing all sorts of fuzzies, it's because I bought a couple new sweaters and I did a little Target video and... Yeah. Just saying. The other channel.